What is up, my butter biscuits? So in today's video, I'm doing kind of like a follow-up to the Jeffree Star, my thoughts and opinions on his cremated palette collection, because he finally addressed, well, not finally, it only took like 2 days for him to address it. So yeah, we're gonna be discussing that today. But before we do, I had a little, okay, I want to try something new. So if you guys do not remember, about a month ago, I did a Q&A, and I said I wanted to start doing my monthly Q&A on here again. However, before I normally posted that I'm doing a Q&A on Instagram. So I kind of want to try something new, and if you guys have any questions at all whatsoever, leave them down in the comments, and I'm gonna go ahead and select them to do this month's Q&A from my comments from here on YouTube rather than Instagram. So any question at all, make it juicy, make it fun, make it nasty, make whatever you want. Literally, I am a total open book and don't mind answering any type of question you have. Like, the funnier the better, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so that way you guys get notified when I upload a new video. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up if you guys do like it. So let's just go ahead and go right on into it. So he uploaded this video actually today, which is titled "Responding to the Backlash Over My Cremated Palette." And I want you guys to like notice something about Jeffree. He knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to the drama, when it comes to, you know, controversy. He puts out a video like this. If you guys don't remember, with the Bloodlust palette, a lot of people were complaining like, where's the purples? Like, what? This palette doesn't have a lot of purples. It's all about a purple theme. And then you open it up and there's like no true purples in there. And I will say, I feel like there's enough purples in there, but yeah, it's not a like total purple palette, you know? However, people were obviously complaining about that big time, so he went and uploaded a video addressing this, addressing that, basically just kind of milking it, and he ended up on #1 on trending now. And this has only been up right now that I'm filming this because it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 16 hours, and he has 3.8 million views, #1 on trending. And this is what I say, like, it's so crazy when things like this happen. He knows what he's doing. He's very savvy when it comes to controversy, and I don't think that he really intended on the cremated palette to be so big and like the talk of the town, but maybe because there's just not a lot of like drama going on right now. As you guys know, that's why I've been doing like my reactions a lot and just other types of videos on my channel, because there really hasn't been any chisme, and I think that people are a little bit bored, you know? I'm gonna go ahead and read some people's comments, but I do want to play the clip of him addressing it in his YouTube video so that way you guys don't have to go over there and check it all out. So here it is, go ahead and check it out.
I unveiled the cremated collection, and baby, it was #1 trending on YouTube. It was trending on Twitter for a couple days, and it's the talk of the town. So I want to answer a few questions, and I want to talk about it for just a real quick. Now, you guys, if you did not watch the series that me and Shane did on making the conspiracy palette, you know, if you didn't watch it, I'm gonna tell you, give you a little refresher. It takes months and months and months, sometimes a year plus, to actually make a product. So there were some people saying, Jeffree, it's a little weird timing. There's a lot going on in the world. But for me, this is art, and I never come from a negative place, you guys. My own father who passed away, and my 2 dogs who passed away last year are all cremated, and it is a tradition in my family. Now, nothing ever comes from a bad place. So if you were thinking that, absolutely not. My brand is to, like, I created this to make people smile. I created a brand for all the weirdos and people that really didn't feel like they fit in. So in no way was this created to be offensive ever. Now, this idea I created over a year ago. I trademarked it. The trademark went through on September of last year, and we delayed this already a lot. And sadly, with production and in the makeup world, if I were to try to move cremated, it wouldn't have fit anywhere in this year. This year is full, which you'll see later this year. I couldn't put cremated anywhere else. I would have had to move it until like later in the fall of 2021. And I never want to give my customers a bad experience. I never want to sell expired makeup. So as a business owner, I'm like, we got to get this out. So I made the executive decision to delay the collection over a month and a half. And before my real crazy summer collection comes out, I wanted this to be here. So I want to end by saying I'm never discrediting anyone's feelings. Everyone is allowed to feel how they want and interpret things how they do. So just know that I only come from a good place. Now, without further ado, let's dive in to the transformation.
So there you hear it for himself. Honestly, you guys, this thing, I feel like this topic is really, really tiring because, like I said in my previous video, my thoughts and my opinions on the cremated palette collection, all that good stuff, I said in there, I really do want to, you know, be considerate of other people's feelings, and I do understand that everyone's going to feel something a little bit different, and you're fully entitled to feel how you are going to feel, you know? I'm not trying to discredit that or take that away. I just feel like at this point, it just kind of seems like people want to complain just to complain. I don't really get it. And I feel like maybe because there's just so much negativity in the world. And from my personal experience being on social media, 9 times out of 10, people that have come at me crazy, they have some problems within themselves and they're just releasing it, you know? And I feel like sometimes people hop on this like bandwagon of like, oh, let me hate this person today and let me hate that person tomorrow, just to kind of like release their heat, to release their hate, you know? And I think that it's really dumb because a situation like this, it blew up big time, and I'm really curious to see if this is going to be like a sellout collection, because if you guys don't remember, I thought it was the craziest thing. There was literally hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of negative reviews of the Subculture palette because it was so bad. That was the worst palette I've ever bought, and honestly, you guys, it was the first palette that I've ever returned. I was very surprised at like how bad it was coming from such a big reputable brand like Anastasia Beverly Hills. However, because of all that drama, and it was like literally all over the news, supposedly at the time, Norvina did tweet out saying that it was the #1 selling palette of Anastasia Beverly Hills history. So things like that are kind of crazy, you know, because you take something that obviously was generated so negatively and it turns out to sell the most. And I'm curious to see about this because I do feel like, besides the conspiracy palette, but honestly, I feel like with the conspiracy palette, that obviously had a lot to do with Shane Dawson, being that he is like one of the most watched YouTubers out there. So take that out. But besides that, I do feel like this is the most talked about palette out there, which is really, really crazy. Let me go ahead and read a couple tweets right here so you guys can see what people are saying now. As you guys know, I don't like to put the tweet out there because I don't want you guys to go like and find the person, you know, because you could just type it in a search. Anyways, everyone dragged James Charles for weeks for accidentally triggering people with his mugshot picture, but Jeffree Star releases a palette called Cremated in the midst of a pandemic that has so far killed over 350,000 people, and their silence make it make sense. I think what it is too, honestly, in my personal opinion, this is just my opinion, I feel like a lot of people, and as I mentioned in my previous video, you either love Jeffree or you hate him, and the people that hate him look for any little reason to just kind of like attack him and come at him crazy, you know? Because at the end of the day, like, let's keep it really real. I feel like, okay, look, even though I know it's a lot of people's biggest fear in life, it's death, it's something that is inevitable. It's, you know, the only certainty in life is death. So being like cremated or talking about cremation, I don't know, it really shouldn't be that offensive. But like I said, I'm trying really hard to, you know, be understanding of everyone's feelings. However, come on, we all had somebody who's cremated. Like, it's not really that deep. Anyways, so a lot of other people too were defending the whole situation, considering that he did create this palette in, you know, September of last year. And as he said, as you guys saw, he couldn't push it back because he has other launches. And what are you supposed to do if you have other launches, you know? Anyways, more comments, okay? At this point, I honestly think Jeffree could commit actual murder and his stans would excuse him and still buy his Now, here, I do have to agree with her on one thing. The stands of Jeffree really, really do come hard, and no matter what, like, even when he's shady, even when he's, you know, throwing shade at Huda and throwing shade at James and all that stuff, they really do condone everything. You guys know that I've said this for the longest time. I'm like, no matter what I say about Jeffree, y'all, if I say one bad thing about it, like, okay, I was reading my comments of my previous video and seeing how I said the bottom 2 rows are literally pointless. Like, what's the point of them? So many people were coming at me. I would like to see you create a palette better. Let's see if you can make a palette better than that. What are you doing over there? Like, you know what I mean? People just go at you crazy, and it's just kind of like, oh my god, it's an opinion, you know? So I will agree with this person on that, you know, the Jeffree stands really do come hard, but it's just kind of like, it's a palette, you know? Like, it's literally a palette. So also, a lot of people too, I completely forgot to mention this. I'll put a clip in here of Nikki Tutorial's video.
It wouldn't have mattered if he came out with this right now or in a couple of months. We're gonna have to deal with the virus for the next couple of years probably. So it wouldn't have mattered when this would have come out because the theme is cremated. So it would have hurt people either way. Would I have expected this to be called deceased instead of cremated? Absolutely. But here we are.
She actually did mention in the video, should it have been called deceased? And you know what? I did not think about that. He does say deceased way more than he does say cremated. So I feel like that would have been a smart move for him to name the palette deceased rather than cremated. But at the same time, you guys, look, you guys know me by now, and I'm very, very open to conversation. Please let me know how deceased and cremated would have really made that big of a difference. Because what I'm saying is we're both talking about death in both of them, right? So if he named a pellet deceased, don't you think people still would have been making a big deal about it, considering that we're in the middle of a pandemic right now? Like, don't you think that? Like, everyone's like, oh, he should have named it deceased, but you're still talking about death. So at the same point, like, I get it. Yes, he does say deceased way more than I've ever heard him say cremated, but at the same time, like, it's death. Death is death. Like, I don't know. I feel like at this point, people are just making a really big deal about it. And I just wanted to do this follow up because he did talk about it. So that way you guys can check it for yourself. And because I did do my thoughts and opinions on it. And as he said in there, I don't really think that he meant to do it in a malicious way. In our lingo, gay lingo, drag lingo, it has been a thing for a while now. I even said before in my previous video, Girls at Mac used to say it like literally years ago. And I don't know. I just think that sometimes, y'all, if I'm being really real, I just think sometimes on the internet, people go a little too hard on any little thing. And like I said, in my personal opinion, I feel like people are just releasing their hate and releasing their animosity and releasing their anger. And I think that it really sucks because we should really just try to be a little bit more positive in life, you know? Or say, for example, if you really did feel some type of way about it, say it in a constructive way. Like reading all the comments and everything, and even reading the comments on my video, I'm like, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? People just don't know how to talk these days and they just know how to bark and go crazy. And I think that that sucks because if a palette like this named Cremated really, really offends you, explain why and give actual reason as to why so people can understand your point of view. But when you sit here and compare, like this one person did, when you compare naming a palette Cremated to murder, it just kind of takes away from the situation, you know? And every single time that I always tell you guys, if you guys disagree with me, even like when I'm on live, explain to me. I like to know the reasoning to it. Don't yell at me. Don't cuss me out. Don't start calling me names because then it just takes away from everything. And now I'm just going to look at you like, you're really just venting right now. And I'm going to let you go ahead and vent on me. You know what I mean? Anyways, y'all, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Can you guys even believe that this is really this big of a topic? Like news media outlets are literally talking about it. Like, it's really that big of a topic. I can't believe it. I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of people are bored right now. And like I said, there ain't really no chisme going on. So this was like, okay, we're all going to talk about this and we're all going to hop on this, you know? Anyways, let me know your 2 cents and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.